Hello, everybody. This is the Plan and Traffic Show, and my name is Lewis Lee. And this is my man Ray from Motormouth Radio. What's up, Ray?
Lewis, good to be here again tonight.
Yes, sir. These Thursdays come quick.
And we're always interested to hear where you are.
I am in Las Vegas at the
Nice.
SEMA Show. We're not at the SEMA Show right now, but we're at the RV park. But we're here in Vegas. So we went to SEMA yesterday. We're 2 days late, but we still made it. Went yesterday and today, and we are super tired. I'll tell you what, they added on to the convention center, and it is double the size that it was.
No fooling.
Oh my God, dude! We checked our steps on our phones. We did 2,800 steps.
Wow.
5 miles each day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of nice cars. We ran into a Van Hot Rod today.
Okay.
And so he's going to come back on the show. And I talked to Christy Lee. She's going to try to get on. So I'm just, working my way through the show.
So how was the trip? How was the drive in the schoolie? That's what we all want to know.
It was really good. After we got it all back together, it ran smooth, man. This thing is running nice.
Okay.
I mean, when I get home, I'm going to have the ECM checked and have my other pump checked and try to see what went on with it.
Yeah, last week you were having troubles with that pump and the check ball. I guess how did you resolve that?
So the boss came over with his computer, and I guess his computer had a little more options to play with stuff and to see things. You plug my computer up too. And so he seen that it was something maybe with the wiring or the ECM.
Really?
So well, first let me go back. So first he thought it was the pump. So he says, my buddy has a truck that I can take the pump off and put it on yours and see if that's it. So he goes, gets the pump off that truck, puts it on my truck, does the same thing.
Wow.
Didn't change anything, right? So then he says he calls one of his buddies that only works on internationals. So his buddy said, check on the computer and check this relay. So he checked this relay. He said, unplug it, plug it back up. No change. Still did the same thing. So the guy on the phone told him, he goes, I think it might be something, one of the drivers in the ECM. So I had the extra ECM with me. So we switched it out, started it up, ran like nothing happened.
Wow.
Ran smooth. I couldn't believe it. So we put it all back together. I took off and made it here. We were 12 hours away, so we drove almost all the way in and then slept at the truck stop and then came in the rest of the way.
Isn't it crazy how, like, if you would have known that last week, things would have been different. It's so wild when you find out eventually find out the answer to a problem.
Yeah.
You can go down so many different paths and believe so many different things.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. And what bothers me the most is how smooth everything was running. And then all of a sudden, boom, this goes out.
Right.
And then you try to go the cheapest way to figure out the problem. You go, the cheapest to the most expensive.
Right.
And we went through the whole system till we get to the most expensive thing. Luckily, I had one with me. So that could have cost me another $1,500 for a computer. Easy.
Sure.
So I'm gonna.
And here we had you going to Walmart buying kids' beads.
Yeah. I drove 50 miles to get that dang ball. 50 miles one way. So
wow.
I put 100 miles on the Jeep, and that little ball was $60. So
that sounded totally. I mean, that sounded totally legit. So you had to follow that one up. You had to, And
here's another thing: we still didn't find the rest of that ball in the system.
Wow.
so we blew stuff out, but maybe I blew it out when I did it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be possible.
That's always possible. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's running pretty good now. I'm gonna get to Arizona for we're gonna stay there a couple months, for the winter.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna talk to some people there. Some more of our friends that are bus people. They're coming. And so we're gonna really check stuff out and see if we can play around with it.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep. So SEMA's packed this year.
Okay.
Like I said, they're still doing a lot of construction, so they got half the building shut down, but they opened up the other part of the building, and it's just huge, man. It's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I've been watching some videos from SEMA. Guys are doing all inside stuff with tool companies, and it looked like the displays were bigger, from what I was seeing.
It seems like it's back to the old before COVID.
Right.
The last couple years, you could see open spots, and the booth wasn't as big. But now it's back to. I think it's back to normal.
That's good. Good.
Yeah. Yep. We ran into Sam from Sam's Garage.
Okay.
Hung out there for a little bit. We might hang out with them in a little bit on Fremont Street. Like every year, we meet up. All of the fellas meet up down there and hang out for a little bit.
Right.
Yep.
Very good.
Vince was checking in on me all through the whole ordeal.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's all family stuff. People reached out to us and made sure we were okay, and SEMA's popping pretty good. Tomorrow is going to be my work day. I'm going to go there and all the cars that I've seen that I want to go back and talk to the owners and stuff like that. So I hit some interviews. It's so hard, man, because it's just so crowded, and everybody's in that mode. You know what I mean? So when you talk to somebody, hey, let's do an interview or come on the show. Oh yeah, just hit me up, call me, and they're moving. Yeah. Everybody's moving.
Right.
So hopefully we get everybody on.
Well, all good intentions.
Yeah. We was going to try to kidnap Chip Foose, but they had him surrounded. We couldn't even get to him.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So other than that, it's the same old stuff. Just seeing new cars, man. A lot of new hot stuff.
Yeah.
Well, never let you in on how many cars and stuff they got.
The inventors are inventing, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I've noticed a lot of CNC machine stuff, a lot of 3D printed stuff.
Oh, sure.
You can see the evolve of these equipments. How things are getting really creative. People are getting really creative.
Yeah, we were talking about it here, and then we were talking about it on the radio show a few weeks ago about how now laser cutters and 3D printers are now getting more and more available for home use.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a big shop, and I guess the price is coming down, which is good.
Yep.
And that's the evolution of things. Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, it's opening up people's minds. I mean, like a lot of motorcycle stuff's out here this year, and you can see like they did dashboards. You see the 3D printed dashboards and CNC stuff. Just really nice, incredible.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent. Very good.
Yeah. So if anybody in the chat want me to go see something, find out what booth they're at, and I'll hit it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep. Me and Stacy David have been missing each other. He was in one building, I was in another. So we're gonna try to catch up tomorrow. Catch up with him and Greg Speed Shop. Try to catch up with them guys. Yep. Other than that, just like usual.
Yeah. No, I'm just glad to hear that you got out there okay and the bus is squared away for now, because that's a big issue. Without that, I mean, that's the basis of your operation. So if that's not working, it's all gonna be bad. So that's good.
Yeah. Yep.
Excellent.
So you work on anything good this week?
Yeah, I had to go back over to the shop. I thought I was gonna be working on this T-Bird that's coming back in, but I ended up working on one of the Ratty Mustangs instead today. And the owner decided to put just complete painless wiring harnesses in the car, which is a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Until you see how he did it. I mean, I got there today and opened the hood, and it was just like wires, just like they threw the wires on top of the engine. And the car ran, everything worked fine before. Now it won't run. So I was trying to diagnose it today, but it got too damn cold out there. It was getting windy and cold. I mean, it was only in I think the low 50s, but the wind really made it feel. It was just hard to work, really hard to work. So I got it to the point where I can make it reliably crank with the key and then stop, because it was cranking, then it would continue to run. So I got all that fixed. I have no spark. So now I got to diagnose the no spark thing. He changed the coil just because. So I got to look at that. I got no secondary spark. So yeah, I'll go back over there tomorrow and play with it a little bit. And then Saturday I'm going to a model car show, which is, I'll post the pictures. I did it last year, and when I tell you, when you see how these guys paint these model cars, they're painting them like lowriders. I'm talking paddle jobs, lace jobs, fades, whatever you see on the lowrider car, they're doing it on a 1/24th scale model, which I don't know how the hell they do it. I really don't. And these guys pull it off every year. It's just so incredible. In fact, last year there was a guy there who he did a diorama of one of the Long Island tracks that we had here, Hampton Raceway. And he built some of the cars that he remembered from back in the day, the popular ones. And Chassis John's car was in that diorama.
Oh, so, nice.
I took some pictures of that and I sent it off to his wife. And I said, hey, check this out. I said, look what I saw at the model show. She's like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, nope. I'm
That's
like,
great.
John is still here, man. People still remember him. And he made quite a hit with that car. So,
yeah.
Going back again on Saturday and going to enjoy that. It's a local model show at a rec center, so it's it's easy. A little bit of fun. Yeah, have a little bit of fun.
That's nice.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm gonna bring up a picture here that I think you might enjoy. If I can figure it out here. I changed browsers, so this one here is a little different. Hold on. It figures it's not going to bring it up for me. It's crazy. You could see something 100 times, and when you go look for it, you can't find it.
Absolutely. It's always the way.
I wonder if it's in my pictures. Hold on. Nope, of course not.
I did that on Sunday on the show. I had to. I was talking with Chris, and I was looking for a picture of something. God help me, I don't remember what it was. But I picked up my phone and I just scrolled, and bing, I found it. And he said, "Man, I'm just amazed that you could find a picture that fast on your phone." And I said, "Well," I said, "this thing is really not a phone. I look at it as a computer." And I said, and because it is, I treat it like a computer, and I've made folders for all the different pictures. I said, the only thing I don't like is that I can't make subfolders of folders, because that would make it even easier. So by now, if I want to scroll to the bottom of the alphabet, like the screenshots folder or one of the tool folders, you got to scroll all the way down, till you get down to the bottom of the alphabet. But I was able to find the folder fast, and the picture was right there. And I said, yeah, you look at anybody and they'll try and find a picture, and they're sitting there death scrolling on their phone. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, I'm trying to find that picture. Oh, when did you take it? Oh, it was probably 4 years ago. Oh, so you got to go through 4 years of pictures. Is that what you're saying? It's like
Yeah.
you realize how inefficient that is. So yeah, big fan of the folder.
So I'm gonna pull up on my phone because I can't get it on my computer like I want. Let's see. I'm not too keen on this color, but the car is incredible. Let's see.
It's white. It's a Nomad. Okay.
Yeah, it's a gray.
Oh, gray. Okay, so it's a light gray with a red interior, like a blood red. Yeah, that's pretty slick. Wow.
Yeah, it was really nice. I mean,
who's the builder? Do you know?
No, I don't. I'll find out tomorrow.
Okay. Nice.
I'll tell you what, Chip Foose has a Lincoln Continental. Where is it? This car, I'm telling you, it's incredible. That's all I can say. You almost can't tell what it is, but here you go.
It's starting to come in. Oh, it's a convertible. It's green. Okay. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely. That's the two-door. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Now I don't know if he made it a two-door, or if it was a two-door from the start. Did they make them back then two-door?
They did have two doors. I'm picturing a two-door hardtop. I don't know if they had a two-door convertible. I know there were a lot of four-door, suicide door convertible. My friend has one, but that's right. I'm picturing that era as a two-door hardtop. So maybe they cut the roof off.
Yeah, it's oh man. I mean, it was one of those cars that you stand there and look at it to try to figure out what he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then on top of that, the paint is 1,000%. The interior, you can't find a flaw. On top of trying to find out what did he exactly do to this car.
Right. And that's the thing. When guys like that build cars, you'll second guess it and third guess it all day because they do it so well. And things you'll look at and just say, hey, that's a real nice touch. That could be a major modification, a major change. You just don't realize it. Like I said, that car could have been a hardtop and maybe it had a roof, and it just doesn't have a roof anymore. And that's the major change, but it looks like the car was a convertible.
Yeah, it makes it totally different. Dustin said that Nomad was a 25 Riddler Award.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. Let's see. Oh, he has some info on the Continental too. So let's get the fellas on and see what they're talking about.
Yeah, bring them in. Let's do that. Yeah, enough of my nonsense.
What's up?
Hey, guys.
How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Right.
What's up, guys?
Oh, the whole crew is here. Look at this.
Oh,
open the door. Influenza. Jeez.
We were swarming.
Yeah.
What's up? So what info you got on that Continental?
Okay, so we're actually building one of those. They made them for 1955 and 1956, and they were a two-door coupe.
Okay.
There was, I think, one known convertible that was built, and I know a guy who got the mechanical drawings and everything and built another one. He just ended up selling it about a year ago, but they were all two-door coupes.
The Lincoln. You're talking about the Lincoln.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yep. And those were actually, I guess, the bodies were made in the town about half an hour from where I'm from.
Okay.
I think they only made like 3,000 of those cars.
I tell you, they're a nice looking car with a roof. They are. Mm-hmm. They're really nice looking with a roof.
Yeah, we're restoring one right now.
Because the roof is kind of short and roundish, and the car is kind of long, so it gives it sets up kind of a weird dichotomy with the body. But I always was attracted to it. I always thought it was a good look. But I'm a little weird anyway, so.
Aren't we all?
Well, I know this car is no joke.
Yeah.
Whoever owns it got a car.
Expensive hobbies.
Yeah, and here's the thing: you couldn't tell. I'm walking around and saying, "Man, who built this car? Who built this car?" On the back seat, in the middle, just a little tag, Goose.
Yeah.
The rest of you can't see it anywhere else. It's right there.
So that car would be really cool again to stick next to a factory car, and then you can really just appreciate the changes that he made.
Sure.
Yeah. Now he's done that before. He had a 65 Impala.
Yeah.
He shortened it and he shortened it the back, like the trunk, shortened that. He did something else to it, but he had another 65 sitting next to it out here at SEMA. This was maybe 5 years ago. I think that might have. No, it didn't win the Riddler.
2015, I think it was. It won.
Yeah, and like you said, until you set the cars next to each other, it's hard to find what he did.
Yeah, it was cool. I was at Autorama that year when he won it, and I seen the factory one they had set next to it, and then you go around the one side of the factory car had all the marks. They had everything taped off.
Yeah.
Okay, he took 3 inches out of here. He raised this line an inch. All sorts of the little changes that. Wow, he made that change right there, and you wouldn't know unless you saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it gives. It's hard to explain. Like 2 inches, 3 inches in different spots, you would think it wouldn't make that much of a difference, but man, it adds up. Yep.
He's pretty good for that.
Yeah, he's no joke. And that same car, that Impala, it was for a guy's wife. So he bought a brand new Corvette, drove it. He went down the street, got the Corvette, brought it back, stripped it apart, and put this Impala on top of it.
Oh shit!
And if you look at that car, the gas cap is in the middle of below the winch or the back window, where the Corvette would have the fuel thing. Yep. Chip is no joke. All those guys, the Ring Brothers, man. This Aston Martin they got out here, man. Oh my God, these guys are crazy. Mike was like, "Oh man, when are you gonna have me back on the show?" He's talking to me like I'm the guy, and he's the guy. You know what I mean? So I was like, "Yeah, man, we'll get you on soon." So as soon as he gets, back home and gets settled down, he's coming back on. Yep. The Mustang they did is really nice too. Yep.
Lewis, not to change the subject,
but that second link I sent you, I believe that's the guys that, when I had talked to you earlier, I believe that's the guys that I had used before on one of my trucks.
Okay.
So, and they're in Texas. So if you're going to be in Phoenix, maybe shoot them that one that it's DOA.
Yeah.
Have them check it while, that way when you go back, you've got that spare bullet just in case something acts up. And
yeah,
because like we talked about last week, it ain't no fun when you're broke down in the middle of nowhere and they got you by the shorties and they know it.
Oh, they know it. These guys at this tow truck place, man, they treat me good, man. They let me stay in their parking lot for 2 days. They went way above. They worked on it on Sunday. Came in on Sunday and worked on it. You get me out of there. It's like, oh, you got to get to SEMA.
Hey, that's good people. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, really good people. So I got to add them to the Christmas card list.
Yeah.
Some of my packages.
Have you seen us?
I ordered the same thing 3 times on one thing.
Oh, great.
No, it's okay. We can deal with it. There you
What
go.
did you say, Vince?
I was quoting Ray's uncle. Have you seen us, Uncle Remus?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually I'm you know what? I'm probably going to go ahead and just dip out now. I got another one of those 4 a.m. wake up calls because I got to be in Augusta in the morning doing that thing. So, Louis,
wow.
glad you guys got out there all safe. Jim, Keith, Brian, Ray, Jace, everybody.
Vince?
Good to see you guys.
Take it easy.
Good, man.
Don't have too much
Sure,
fun.
Thank you.
No promises.
All right, we'll talk to you. I'll let you know what's going on.
Not a problem. All right, let's see.
So, Brian, how you making out?
Doing all right.
Good, good. These Mustangs out here are representing.
I bet.
They're everywhere. Every corner, they got a Mustang. I mean, a killer Mustangs. I'm going to send you some pictures.
I was been watching a lot of different things on YouTube with SEMA, and between the 4-wheel drive or the monster trucks, there seem to be a lot of trucks, and
Outside.
like you said, a lot of Mustangs.
Let's see if I took a picture of one.
Really, it just seems to be a big assortment of everything.
Yeah. You know, I'm thinking, like, where are they getting all these Mustangs from? But then I started thinking they make all the parts for it, so they can build one from.
Oh yeah, you could build
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All you need is a VIN. If you want to do it legit, all you need is a VIN number, and you can get every stinking piece. And it was really kind of weird. I was watching this other guy, and kind of hurt my feelings a little bit because they said, the 65, 66 is too much like a Falcon. Why would you want that? The Mustangs, you don't have a Mustang unless you have a 67 on up. And I was like, well, I kind of take offense to that, but but he is, I can see that in a way, because they started getting bigger, bigger motor, stronger, stuff. But I wouldn't take mine out on that. But I just thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, people's opinions, sometimes they need to shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
So my wife hates El Caminos, but we've seen two out here that she kind of likes. So I might be able to slide one into the garage, but check this one out.
What is it that she doesn't like about him?
She says,
Dang.
She says they look like a half truck, half car. I was like, yeah, that's the point.
That's exactly
That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, she nailed that one.
Yeah, she hates them, but this one here is money.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So I think they actually.
It's like Monty SS.
What a Monty
taillights.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I think they actually took a SS apart and molded a lot of that stuff into this car.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that looks like original parts. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Right.
Little over the top, but I'd roll it.
Heck yeah.
They didn't have. I haven't seen, or I guess they were a little bit more cautious this year about having the scammer, the guy that had the one that didn't run. The big.
Oh yeah.
When he had that one, I don't even know what it was when everybody was putting it on and realized he didn't have anything hooked up or nothing there. But
yeah, I forget what car that was. Was it an Impala?
No, it was. I can't remember because remember it had like a LS motor, but it had a Ferrari intake on it or something like that with the twin turbos. And I can't remember. I can't even believe we can't remember what that was. It was only a year ago, and shit was everywhere on YouTube and Instagram. But
I'll tell you what, they're tight on security and they're tight on having your badges. If you don't have a badge, man, you're not getting in.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a Miata, and it had a Lamborghini engine in it, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, you're right.
There was just an LS underneath.
That's just an LS. Yeah, it had some.
It
Sometimes
had
looked like a
LS.
Lamborghini.
Supposedly he had
intake.
made because it was like for a 10-cylinder, and he had the intake coming up out of the hood or whatever, and had like the blocked off plates from the two last from the intake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Bluetooth drive shafts and all.
Yep. Yeah, I've been actually. I stumbled across this one guy on YouTube, and it was on tools. So he was over, and actually they had a really interesting lift. It had dual arms or quad arms. It was a 2-post lift, and it was like when it had another set of lifts. You added legs to the bottom. Once you like, if you were taking a body off of a truck or a car, I mean, but I know at the Ford dealership they would use this.
Oh, they lift that and then lift.
Because they would, you put the one legs on, and then you can lift the body off the frame, and then you put another set of legs on, and you can actually lift the frame off the ground. And it's all on the same lift.
Huh.
It's kind of crazy. It was from Benpack, I think. Benpack. So they were showing that there was a couple interesting things.
Makes it easier to change your 5.4 head gaskets.
Yeah. Well, those Ford guys, I tell you, back in the day when I was at Porsche there, I'd have all my buddies come by or hang out, stop by, and every car, if it was a 911, you had the motor out of it, and you're just putting spark plugs in or whatever. I mean, it was just common to pull the motor out. And they're always like, "Well, what's wrong with this?" "Oh, we're just putting plugs in it or adjusting the valves." And they you pull the motor out, go into a Ford dealership, and every one of those damn pickup trucks, the body's floating in the air and the frame's on the ground. Anything that they do, just putting the simplest things, it's easier to pull the body off.
Brian, do you get the Haggerty magazine? The what do they call it? The Drivers Club magazine?
No.
This month they spotlight the original 911 Turbo. 50 years old.
Yeah.
There's a really nice article on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll save it for you.
That's a killer. That's a killer car there. That was the ultimate widowmaker, because you would hit the gas and it would be like 1, 2, take off, and if you weren't pointing in the right direction, you were going for one hell of a ride. So those were interesting. And then, like I said, if you were in the turn and got scared and let off, that thing would spin around on you in a heartbeat. And like I said, that was you had to know how to drive that car. That was a handful.
That's scary.
Well, that's some crazy. I looked up the lift. That's a weird looking lift.
Yeah, isn't
it? The inside arms are like normal, but then there's another set of arms on the outside of the post with probably another ram, and then those arms come around, and they can go up and down independently. It's like, huh?
Yeah, so you can lift up the body or lift up whatever you got, and then you can lift the frame.
Yeah, they were showing it also like on a battery, like on Tesla. Take the whole battery, just set the battery down onto a table or whatever. And then lift the body up.
Well, that's I think probably that's why they did it originally for the electric
EVs.
cars, because that whole floors, you got to lift the body up.
Yep.
Off the batteries, and
you got to work on the ground. Pretty
much. That table was big bucks.
Yeah.
And then once you get it on there, like I said, it's a pain. I mean, like I said, I thought the lift was fairly interesting.
Yeah, well, because if you're doing the EV, you would have to have it up in the air, undo all the bolts, not all of them, because the thing would fall down. Then you got to lower it onto something, and then crawl on the ground, and take out whatever bolts, right, and then lift the car up.
Yeah.
So I guess that's easier. Yeah.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Coach.
Go
So
on,
that
what
was
is it?
fairly interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And they had storage, and I guess there's a few new tools. I don't know. The tool thing is kind of crazy because
You saw the Harbor Freight stuff?
Well, all right, I'm just going to tell you, I just watched, it was some guy and his girlfriend, I guess. They were young and they went through the Harbor Freight.
yeah,
And of course, you see that one is big display. And of course, they were showing off all the new stuff. Oh, 1,000 fucking ratchets. I don't know, But I saw this other dude. I couldn't. His face wasn't on camera, but he's a black guy. You can tell by his voice, and he sounds kind of young. I think I've watched his stuff before, but what he had set up on a Snap-on toolbox, he had a set of the long double ratchet wrench Matco wrenches, a Matco half-inch air impact, a Matco relay test box, and something else. What the hell was the other tool? And a Matco ratchet, 3/8 ratchet. Which, by the way, just to jump back, those Icon ratchets, they fucking it looks like a Matco. I mean, even the handle looks like a Matco handle. I mean, with the lock for the flex head, the whole bit. I mean, it's identical except for the name on the head. So regardless of that, so his point was he was talking about rebrands, and he was very emphatic, and he made his point too many times that a rebrand is not necessarily, a new tool or a different tool. There's a difference between a rebrand and a retool. And the Matcos, I thought it was going to be an anti-Matco video, but it was really very pro Matco, and he picked out the differences in the tools that are not in the other ones that are like it. And what he did show was the only one that he did say was that he said was just a true rebrand was the relay tester, because he showed the Lyle tool and he goes, look at it. The only difference is this one says Matco Tools on it, but everything else had differences that made it unique. And he says when it makes it unique, it's not a rebrand because now it is its own different. And with the ratchet wrenches in particular, he was talking about the reverse mechanism, how the Mountain and the Platinum have it on the sides and the Matco has it on the face. So I thought it was a very good video for that reason. He really did kind of clear it up a bit for people.
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, like I said, when you look at, of course, nobody reads the packaging but when they say designed to our specs, or Matco specs, or whoever specs. I mean, they are, there is some differences,
right?
And it's kind of funny. Like when we went back in the day, like when we had the 1/2-inch impacts, and we jumped up in power, it was because the rotor had an extra vane in it, or for a thing,
right?
And again, I was taking the Ingersoll ones and putting our guts in them. Guys would want them rebuilt. Like, hey, can you fix, and then make it to that way. I mean, you could do stuff like that.
So let me ask you a question. He showed in the Icon stuff. I mean, this was not him, the guy doing the SEMA video did the Icon stuff. They were showing, like I said, 1,000 different ratchets, and it's all the same designs, but 1/4, 3/8, and a half. And then he had the biggest ratchet is a 3/4 inch, and it looked like it was like, I don't know, it looked like 20 inches long. But he was saying most 3/4 inch ratchets are like 24 or 30 teeth. This one was like 90 or 120 teeth. And
I think it was 80. I think that was 80. I think they're stuck on 80 teeth or something like that, because that's 80 teeth. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think that's really necessary on a 3/4 inch ratchet of that size? I mean, you have to refine work. You don't need light back drag. I mean, consider what you're working on. I didn't think it was necessary, but I don't know. I try not to work on trucks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be nice to a point, but I don't know. Like I said, I think some of that's kind of bougie, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I look at some of this stuff a little different than other people. Some people get super excited over that stuff. That's kind of like, back in the day when I was at the Porsche dealership, some guys would get all, googly eye and all giddy and, throw out all these specs, and they'd think that I'd throw it back at them. And I was like, dude, it doesn't do anything. So I can't really answer that. I don't know why you would want it that fine, but I think that's like one of those, wow factor or selling point, like, because there's guys that gotta have. I mean, I've got a few guys, that they'll buy something, and then in a month, if it comes out in a different color or one thing's different or improvement, they got to have it.
That's why the guy and the girl doing the at SEMA doing that video, they were talking with the Icon guy, and they said, they were making a big deal, and Icon now had their screwdrivers in green and black, as well as like red
and purple was coming or something. I saw the same one.
They said there was more colors. They didn't. In the comments, somebody said, we need purple. But the guy said that. He says, I know a lot of guys. He goes, they got a green toolbox. They want all their tools to be green. I guess so. I don't know. All right. I never had a problem with black handles, but
I just want the tools to work.
Well, yeah. Exactly.
I mean, like I said, I'm the same way. I don't know. I can't see that, but again, some guys die for it. I got a guy. I mean, I have a guy waiting for one color, a color, and I've got every color but his color on the truck.
Yeah.
And he could have the tool today, but he goes, "I'll just wait." And I'm like,
I'm fine with that for the reason that if it sells a tool, good, fine. So now the tool man is making a sale. So I'm for it for that reason, if nothing else. Personal preference aside, I mean, truthfully, I don't think I'd want to have a variety of different colors in my toolbox. I don't think I'd want to see green, purple, blue, orange. I think that would kind of freak me out a little bit.
Don't open my toolbox then.
Yeah.
looks like a bag of Skittles.
Yeah, I think that just, I don't know. I don't have that problem. I mean, I got like 2 different colors because I do have some newer screwdrivers and most of my ratchets are chrome, so I don't have to worry about it.
I'm one of those. You've got it in this color, sure. I don't care.
Yeah. But
so like I said, I don't know, and tools. I think some of it. Of course, a lot of that. Once the patent runs out, and then somebody else has that. That's just like you said when the patent ran out on the Ingersoll guns. Everybody started taking the good parts from those guns to put into theirs, and they all kind of looked like, I still get guys swearing up and down that our guns are Ingersolls, and they're not.
Right.
And but again, like I said, you can only, the funny part is, and we've gone through, what was it? Like our spark plug sockets, they got 16 millimeter on them now.
Oh.
Okay. Instead of 5/8.
Right.
Okay. Don't ask me why it's marked that way.
Yeah.
But people are like, they see the 16, and are like, what's this fit? What car does this go to? Is this something new? And I'm like, no, it's 5/8, dude. And they're like, well, I don't. It's just like It's the same thing with having a 14 or 9/16 on the spark plug socket.
Right.
You know, it's the same size, but I've got guys that will buy one of each because one goes to one and one. You know, it's like,
Fine.
dude, it's the same size.
You know, I made up a little chart years ago. It's a little list, and it just gives you American and metric, you know, the sockets and wrenches that will fit. And I have one on each of my toolboxes because, you know, sometimes I forget. And I've given them to people and said, "Here, here's a quick reference," you know, so it'll show you what fits if you need be. It's not every size, obviously, but it's pretty much the common ones. And yeah.
But you know, again, like I said, I don't. You know, I don't know why we all of a sudden had, you know, whoever the manufacturer is. I guess they changed, you know, from 5/8 to 16 millimeter.
It may have something to do with what you said a while ago, and I just said this to a guy the other day. We were talking about tools. I said, you know, I said, get on a tool truck. I said, find a Macro truck. I said, buy some American tools. I said, they're dropping the price, man. They're discounting. He's like, why would they do that? I said, because nobody's buying them. Mm-hmm. I said, you know, you talk to new guys, and they don't have an American tool in their box. I mean, you've talked about this almost every week, Brian. So why is the guy going to buy a 5/8 socket when he understands what a 16 is? Like, the new guy's just going to learn that that's 16. You know, we know it's 5/8. So, you know, it kind of makes sense in the progression of things.
So, but it's funny. I had you know, like I said today, I had a guy. He looked at it and he's like, "What size is this?" And I said, "It's 5/8." And he goes, "Well, it says 16 millimeter. What car does that fit?" And I'm like, "About 90% of everything out there."
You should have told him, listen. You know, 6 minus 1 is 5, and half of 16 is 8, so it's 5/8.
I'm glad you were able to come up with that, because I tell you. So
tell them, look, that's how you figure it out. They're all like that. It's a secret code that only the tool guys use. I'd love to see the guy walk out and just like scratch his head and start looking at his sockets like doing math.
And then, you know, of course, you have.
See, if I was a tool guy, I'd be a real dick about it.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's funny. So, but I thought, like I said, I don't know, it seemed fairly interesting. And storage, you know, storage is always going to be a big thing. Toolboxes and cabinets. And
they showed off this new Icon box. It's called the Icon S, I think. And damn, if it didn't look like a Matco, like a 6S. I mean,
they had that,
G2. It was G2 or something.
It might have been G. Yeah, maybe it could have been. I guess it could have been
G2.
I thought it was the Icon Epic. It was 30 inches.
It is 30 inches deep. Yes, 30 inches deep. He made a point about that, and fully opening drawers, which is nice because now you can get to the back of the drawer. So that's
ours are
nice features.
Yeah, ours is fully.
But
that's one of the. That's the mistake I made here in the garage. I have 30 inch. You know, I have a wall, and that's fine. But when you put other stuff in, and you go to pull the box out, drawer out, and you can't, you need to have that other 30.
It's like trying to take
30 inches.
It's like setting up the car and pulling the axles, and they hit the wall.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like, oh shit.
You got to really, you
need the space. Yeah,
have the space. And I've seen guys, like I said, honestly, a lot of places, repair shops or gas stations, they don't have room for all that.
Yeah, I know.
And guys, that's why some of these places get into. We did it for a while, and unfortunately, not to trash it, but when you overprice everything, it's kind of hard. But we had a lot of modular setups because dealerships were going. They want everything uniform, the same size, same stuff, and and try to build because you get at hey, this guy. I've sold toolboxes, and when the freight truck has to unload it with another tow truck that's fairly big, the look on the service manager's face or the owner at me is like, dude, where are we going to put this fucking thing?
Right.
Because they don't have room for it.
Yeah. Well, I will say this: looking at that, the Harbor Freight display, they're definitely on the move. And they're making, it's kind of like some of the political parties we're seeing here that are now coming into play, especially where I'm at. They're making moves and they're making inroads, and it's, I mean, I think competition is always good because it ups everybody's game. It really does. If a company, I don't care what they're selling, if they get complacent and sit back on their laurels, now there's nothing new. You're not going to have innovation. So, I think it's good because I think it'll up the game, that competition, because everybody's fighting for the same dollar, and they're making a splash. So it'd be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, their display out here is probably one of the biggest.
It looked huge, man. From on TV, it looked very big.
And in the section they're in they're in South Hall. And they're upstairs, and that's where like the rim companies are, where they have the equipment for changing wheels and tires. The tire companies,
makes sense,
and a couple tool companies like Milwaukee has a real big setup too.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
I'll tell
Milwaukee.
you what, Harbor Freight's just as big.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, again, look at Milwaukee. Now that they got the inroad and they're on Matco trucks, now they're trying to. I mean, I'm sure they don't want to see anybody else's battery powered tool sold. And a lot of guys. Brian, you're the perfect guy to comment on that. I mean, every shops I go into, I see more Milwaukee than anything.
Oh yeah,
it's just everywhere.
It's everywhere, and
Clay was doing something on that a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying, he says, unfortunately, people are not looking at the tool truck brands, and he was on the Matco truck, and he had some very good things to say about some of the new Matco stuff. He says, you got to look at this stuff, guys. He says, this is, they've been in the game a while, so they're not just going to lay down and give up. So I think it was one of the stubby guns he was looking at, and he said, this thing really pays to be looked at. He says, but, a new guy coming in, again, if price point's always an issue, and I get that. So again, here's more competition. Here's more, just more interesting tool play.
Right.
What do you see in your shop, Justin? You get many new guys coming through, and if so, what are they doing for tools?
We don't get a whole lot of new guys. We just picked up one guy. He had some stuff. He's been kind of hopping on the various tool trucks, getting a little bit here, a little bit there. So we went from 0 trucks to 3 trucks now.
Oh wow! Oh. Wow. Okay. Wow, that's good.
So yeah, no, I mean usually like I said, if we get any new guy come in, they kind of just get what they can.
I gotta say I can't really speak to that because I never had more than one truck ever, through my whole career. It was like, and it was a Snap-on guy. There was nobody ever else really around, and I wasn't in and out of shops, for the bulk of the years. I was actually doing something else, but I still had connections. So to see 3 trucks, I mean, I don't know what I do. I think, my mind is telling me you would have brand loyalty because that's what you were buying. But I guess if you were buying off of 3 trucks, so what do you do? I mean, I don't know. What's in his head? Does a guy say, well, I like sockets and ratchets from Matco, but I like Snap-on screwdrivers and I like, Mac bits? Like,
I think a lot of it's just, how much are you selling that for versus how much you're selling that for.
Okay.
Probably.
Got it.
That's part, because I have the same thing. I only have, it's me and the Snap-on guy. I don't have, at one time we had an independent. I did have, actually at one time I had 4 trucks. Because you had an independent, I had a Mac, I had a Cornwell, a Snap-on, and you had me. So you had 5 guys.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah.
And that's a lot. And, it depended, most of the time we were all pretty much spread out throughout the week. So it came down to, well, I'll see how much it is on this, because they would tell me, what's the price? You tell them and they say, oh, I can, I'll see what it's on the other truck. And like I said, if you wanted to try to make the sell and say, well, I can take $50 off, I never really played that game.
You see, if it was like a puller set or a bearing set, I could see it. But I can only go by myself. And I'm thinking, like, if I've been using one brand of ratchet and I like it, that's what I want to stay with, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
usually a lot of times, luckily, for me, since I've been there so long, a lot of guys will say, just buy it from Brian because he's been here, so you get a warranty. Because that's usually the biggest problem. Right. We had a Mac guy, and I'm not going to lie, he came in fast and furious, and
he left the same way.
And he left the same way. I mean, but
at least he was consistent,
right?
He sold a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And, and of course, when he's gone, and then of course, they're like, and they finally, a lot of people said, I should have just bought it from you because it's broken. I got to rebuy it.
Right.
And I got to go through all this and wait. And of course, when the new guy comes in, he gets bombarded with
returns
and broken stuff.
Right.
And he's like, he looks at it, instead of looking at this is what his job is. He looks at, I'm losing all this money.
Well, yeah, because you're inheriting somebody else's problem.
Yeah, technically, he's really not losing any money. It's just that it's his time.
He wants to
go through and send it in, and he's getting it replaced.
Yeah.
But he makes a really big deal about it, and guys are like, well, I'm not going to buy it from that guy.
Yeah.
So,
well,
that's always my problem, because they say no matter where I go, if I go someplace, I'm going to find there's going to be a Snap-on guy.
Right.
So I got guys like that, and it's a hard argument, but I just tell them. Of course, everybody knows where I live. I said, all I gotta do is come by, knock on the door, dude. I'll fix. I can't even tell you how many places.
We got that with our new Matco guy. So when he first started, we had quite a bit of, because that for a long time that was our only truck was Matco, so everybody was buying it.
Yeah.
And we had quite a bit of stuff that was, hey, this is wore out, this needs fixed, and he's pretty cool with it. So,
yeah.
I do remember that guy that was doing the Matco stuff today. When he showed that relay tester and he said this is a straight up rebrand, he did qualify it by saying, but Matco warranties it for life. He goes, so if you bought the Lyle one, you're going to have to go through them and see what you get. Meanwhile, if you do buy it from Matco, you will get a warranty. So he was even good on that. He did even hit that well. So, which is, I mean, there's kind of the answer right there. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to have to go somewhere. You don't have to make a call. You want to see the guy and get the tool fixed or repaired or replaced. And that's
like I said, people say, well, it's more, but again, you're paying for that warranty.
Right.
It's funny. I always get guys, they'll say how much, you tell them how much, and they're like, why is it so much? And I said, well, you're paying for the warranty, dude. I mean, it's got, well, I don't want to pay for the warranty, so will you give it to me for this price? It doesn't work that way, dude. It doesn't work that way.
Nope.
So, but it is kind of funny when they say they don't want to, you know, they don't want the warranty.
Yeah, it's like getting the turkey without the gravy. They come together.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but you know, if that guy comes back and it breaks, he's gonna come back.
He's
He's going
Sure.
to
Get expected warranty.
Oh yeah, or like I said, I told like I said, I always joke around. I said, yeah. So when you leave me and go see another Matco guy, he doesn't know you didn't pay for the warranty. So I gotta,
Yeah.
So you just got to tell them, all right, listen, you just got to sign this waiver now that we filed with the home office. It goes on your name, so anybody can find it. When they pull your name up, just comes up. Huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's interesting.
Hey, Brian, I
Yeah.
got a question for you. On the scanners, I know I talked to you about the scanners. You said the used ones you get turned or they turn in are pretty beat up. The guys that are working on my bus, they use a couple different scanners, but they hook them to their computers.
Yeah.
So one of them was a Next IQ. That sound familiar?
I'm not real familiar with it, but yeah.
So they had the 9-pin plug plugged up to the bus, and then it went to a little box, and then from that box went to their computer.
Right.
So you never get anything like that?
No.
Yeah.
That's usually well, that was like when I was having all the trouble with mine. That, like I said, the Isuzu, I can't remember what it's called, their scanner. But like I said, you buy the software, you load it into a laptop, and again, you have the interchanger or the interface, and then you have the 9-pin or whatever pin connector you need. And that type of stuff, those type of software or scanners, like I said, I very rarely ever see anything like that. Now I sell 9-pins. I mean, I sell the cable. I mean, I've sold the cables before, but like I said, as getting them in on trade, or I don't even think I took I think it was just OBD1 connectors.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any truck pins.
When I went
So our new scanner now comes with a guy. I just sold one. I sell one tomorrow actually, and I sold one last week, and he traded in a OBD1 connectors, I think.
Brian, if you ever get any Tech 2 cables,
Huh?
a GM Tech 2 scanner.
Yeah.
I have one, but I'm missing some of the cables. So if you ever come across cables for the Tech 2, put them aside for me. They pop up from time to time.
Yeah, I can't. I thought I had to look in my storage unit. I thought I have an old Tech 2. That thing's old.
Well, I get a card once in a while that I need to use the Tech 2 on, and
Yeah.
and I have Joe gave me a scanner, but it doesn't have all the cables.
Yeah, it's funny because our new scanner now, the scanner like I sold and the one I have, comes with believe it or not, comes with a motorcycle.
Oh, really?
And yeah, the motorcycle plug. And I think on that, the most common one, they make a 6 because some of the guys like Harley and I don't know, whatever, they have a different plug connector.
Yeah.
So you can buy those, but the most common one, and that fits a lot of your side-by-sides and Polaris things. So a lot of that stuff is all, OBD2 now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I have a 9-pin cable. I don't know if I have usually the heavy duty scanners, and the last. I have to look. I don't think I have any heavy duty stuff. You're a 9-pin connector? Lewis, yours is a 9-pin connector?
Yeah. Yep.
It does, and it does. It also doesn't have a 16 pin, or just
No.
the 9. That's all it has.
Yeah, just a 9. Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the guys had it on his scanner because I was trying to see what they had, and one was the OB. What did you say? OB1 something?
Obi-Wan
OBD2.
Kenobi.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were
That guy.
OBD2. I mean, most of them are. I mean, everything is OBD2. OBD1
Yeah, it was the 2.
connectors. Yeah, the 2.
I
That's
prefer
a
the
16 pin connector.
I prefer the Skywalker connector.
You're right.
Hey, I'm new to this, guys. Don't beat me up with that.
No, because
Got to pay your
It's
dues.
okay.
no, because I think it's Toyota. Even though the Toyota has the OBD2 on it, I think for the ABS, I think it's ABS. They have the little small box in the engine compartment that says diagnostic. That, and you pull that off, and that's an OBD1 connector. That's why you still need the every once in a blue moon to get in that. I know that Chrysler used to have that too, because they had the 16 pin, and they had that funny shaped one like on the that went like on the backside of the Mitsubishis and all that crazy stuff that you had to.
See, now this segues into another topic that always comes up on all the shows. How many more years is it going to be that people are going to be restoring these cars, and they're going to need to get into to read data, and everybody got rid of all of those scanners and cables, and they're gone with the wind. And without them, you're not going to do jack shit.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, guys, my wife is telling me I got to take her out, so I got to go.
Okay.
Take her out. She's got to go back.
We'll see, man.
I can't play with you guys no more. I got to go.
Oh,
Well,
man.
why don't you sign us off, and we'll hang out and then
Okay.
do our stuff.
So everybody in the chat and on the live stream, thank you for coming to hang out with Playing in Traffic. And we do this every Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So please tell all your friends that we talk about cars, boats, trucks, and anything you put gas in. And we will see you next week. If I can find the button.
See you guys.
See ya.